you very much for the organizers for inviting me to this absolutely amazing. I haven't seen so much crowd ever since I visited a dharna in JNU. I think it's just... And by the way, I'm from JNU, so it's actually very good that the questions would be at the end, because nowadays anybody who raises a hand, I think he or she is asking for azadi. So, but to come back to this topic, I am a free speech absolutist. So I believe that dissent, good or bad, should be allowed. So there is room for good dissent, and there is room for bad dissent. And I would say ridicule all other isms except criticism. But the problem that we are seeing ever since 2014 is it's almost like a Cambrian explosion, as we call in science, as if that anything bad that has ever happened in this country, anyone who's been ever ruined, the economy, the institutions, the people, the corruption, has happened since 2014. Before 2014, everything was absolute. It was like a Garden of Eden, people strolling out and onto a beach, and everything was absolutely nice. There were no riots, there was no lynching, India wasn't Lynchistan, there was no emergency, the judges were absolutely perfect, the institutions, RBI was working, the best central bank in the world, our cricket was in great shape, and our journalists were just brilliant journalists, and everything went wrong on 16th of May 2014 when Mr. Modi was elected. Now, the point is, you can have that view. In my book, of course, you can have that view. I mean, don't people still believe in stupid, loony views? Don't people still believe in communism? So, the point of the matter is, when you have seen over the last 80 years, all nations that were communists being destroyed by this ideology, and you still have millions of Indians still believe in communism and worship Mao and worship Lenin, what do you have to say about human nature and human tendency? Of course you would find such people. And the point is not to ban them, the point is to laugh at them and to expose them. So I am for good dissent as well as for bad dissent. The problem with bad dissent is that very quickly it can lead to scaremongering, and that is a problem. So you can actually have bad dissent as long as you are not scaremongering people, and the scaremongering, the genesis of scaremongering is selectivity. And this is what we have seen since 2014. And I come back to this thing of explosion, Cambrian explosion. Everything bad has happened since 2014. And just to give you, and I would like to give a couple of examples. I still have 6 minutes left. She's really scared me, So, this thing about India being called a Lynchistan, and Dalits being lynched, Muslims being lynched, and this whole thing about emergencies here, growing and creeping, intolerance, everything is growing and creeping. It's like, you're on the seabed, writhing like an octopus, and everything is growing and creeping all around you. So let me give you a couple of examples, and I would love to have a show of hands here. It's a very attentive audience, which is very refreshing, coming from JNU, where half people are sleeping in the audience. Everyone knows about Akhlaq, right? The person who was lynched. How many of you know about Akhlaq? Could you raise your hands, please? Yeah, so that's about 90% of hands went up. How many of you know who was Savant Rathod? 5 hands. Who was Mukesh from Champaran? 2 hands. Who was Khitaram Bhil? 1 hand. Who was Junaid? 5 hands. Who was Farooq? 1 hand. These were people, Dalits and Muslims, who were lynched by Muslims. We don't know their names. They have been forgotten after pages of history books, but we know only Akhlaq. Pause and wonder why that is so. In the last 1 year, there have been more than 100 attacks, lynchings, attempted lynchings by Muslim mobs on Muslims, on Hindus, on Dalits. They just don't appear in the news. They just slip away. There have been more than 36 attacks by Muslim mobs on Dalits, lynchings, attempted lynchings. We don't hear of them. So this is where you can have bad dissent. You can say that, yes, lynchings are happening. But if you are selective about it, this leads to scaremongering. This leads to people believing that India has suddenly gone down the drain in the last 4 years, that all these things weren't happening before, all these things are happening now. That is one problem. The other, roughly I have about 4 minutes left, which is about fine, which is about this freedom of expression. And again, I would love to have a show of hands. And when we think of freedom of expression and stifling of freedom of expression, banning things, we normally think of Indira Gandhi. So how many of you think that Indira Gandhi stifled freedom of expression? Show of hands, please. Of course, emergency, so everyone. How many of you think Nehru, the paragon of freedom of expression, stifled freedom of expression? Yeah, so this is but I would say still half the hands are still in their pockets. And the reason for that is this kind of propaganda that has been let loose on us through books, through paid, sold out editors, through people who are, for want of a better word, PDs of the dynasty. Sorry about that. And the reason for that is that this one comment that Nehru made to a cartoonist, very famous cartoonist called Shankar. Now, he was drawing the ire of a lot of political leaders for the cartooning that he was drawing of, cartoons he was drawing of them. Whereas Nehru said, "Don't spare me, Shankar." Now, this kind of phrase has been immortalized, that it is actually Nehru who stood up for, being lampooned by these people and who was always... So, let me now, I have 3 minutes left. Let me narrate the state of freedom of expression under Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. First Amendment was brought in, reasonable restrictions, incitement, disruption of public order. Poet Majru Sultanpuri was jailed for 1 year for calling Nehru Hitler ka chela. First democratically elected communist government in Kerala was dismissed. Congress president said communist parties wouldn't be allowed to participate in general elections. Stanley Woopert's book 9 Hours to Rama was banned. The book Chandra Mohini was banned. Audrey Menon's The Ramayana was banned. Campbell's The Heart of India was banned. Koestler's The Lotus and the Robot was banned. Import of any newspaper that undermined friendly relations with foreign states was banned. Aziz Beg's Captive Kashmir was banned. Frischler's Aisha was banned. Bertrand Russell's Unarmed Victory was banned. Robson's 9 Hours to Rama was banned. Sardanvi's Marke Somnath was banned. Robert Taylor's The Dark Urge was banned. Selling Lady Chatelier's Lover was banned. The book What Has Religion Done for Mankind was banned. Ratmanath's Bhupat Singh was banned. Import of any obscene drawing or painting was banned. Mrinal Sen's film Neel Akshar Niche was banned. Menon's Rama Retold was banned. Tony Hagen's book Nepal was banned. The RSS organizer was censored. Its publishers prosecuted. Film Gokul Shankar was banned. Godse's Testimony was banned. Goswami's Runumi was banned. Historian Dharampal was jailed for criticizing Nehru post-Indochina war. Release of 1962 war film Bhool Na Jana was blocked. President Rajendra Prasad's speech was barred from distribution. Harmonium was banned from AIR. Draconian Press Objectionable Act was passed. Columnist Vivek was fired. His column critical of Nehru discontinued. HT editor Durga Das was fired. His column critical of Nehru discontinued. Congress leaders demanding Nehru's resignation were arrested and jailed. Ads to Times of India were discontinued for speaking against government policy. Magazine Crossroads was banned. Play Nigalene Communistaki was banned. Its actors arrested. Hindi film songs were banned from being played on the AIR. Congress demanded a ban on the iconic film Parkasathi. Film Nastik was banned. Western pop music was banned from the AIR. People's Theatre Association was banned. Play Harpida Master was banned. Film Ganga Jamuna was blocked. Sarat Chandra Chattopadhyay's play Mahesh was banned. Tagore's play Gora was banned. Balraj Sani's play Jadoo Ki Kursi was banned. Tagore's play Besarjan was banned. Pradeep's film song was deleted. 2 songs from Fir Subah Hoge were banned. Editor Prahlad Keshav Atre was jailed for writing critical article. Film Jugnu was banned. Film Jharna was banned. Under Jawaharlal Nehru. And when I asked who was more responsible for stifling freedom of expression, Indira Gandhi or Nehru, most of the hands said Indira Gandhi. This is the reason. Selectivity is going to be our bane. It is going to be the destruction of the knowledge that we are going to spread around young people. And that is why I will always have my praise for the younger generation and the social media. You are the real warriors. You are going to put all these people and all these politicians to shame. Thank you.